3, 2, 1. Welcome back. First episode of the new year. Your boys over here at Barca Boyz, the dynamic duo, the best at it in the game. You already know who it is. It's your boy Tincho Sports, live in Tincho Sports Studios. As always, I'm joined with
your boy, Good Crazy Lex.
We're excited. First episode of the new year. Barca's playing good. We're winning. Yes. Life is good. Right now, it is about halfway through January. So as it's a custom, we're going to do mid-season reviews. We're going to give away the Barca Boyz mid-season awards. 6 awards today. Some good, some bad. Sometimes good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes maybe the shit.
We got 6 of them, so why don't we go ahead and we're going to just go ahead and kick it off. Starting off, number 1, most improved. So this player has to have been with the team last season and underperformed in your eyes and stepped up this year. Give me your player.
Can you go first for this one?
Okay.
I want to see your.
Okay. I'm gonna hit you with one.
All right.
Frankie De Jong.
Yeah.
Frankie De Jong. Okay. It's not that he had a bad season last year because the whole team was bad. He wasn't comfortable. He was starting to get in. We just didn't have a team for him, and we're figuring him out now. We figured out that when he has space and he can dribble and he can be a threat going up, that's where he shines best because he can go up and he can go down. So I think we're giving him a lot. Like Busquets, when he plays with Busquets drops back. Dude, De Jong has a whole midfield to receive. That's where he's thriving right now. He's even sprinkling in a few little bit of goals. So I think that midfield that we have right now works, and it works in great part by De Jong.
As soon as we get them to all connect and be a unity, that midfield is going to be young and it's going to be powerful.
It's deadly.
It's going to be fast.
It's deadly. It's deadly.
I'm going to hit you with one.
Hit me.
Lenglet.
Okay, explain.
For me, Lenglet had to grow on me because I didn't see what we were seeing, what we saw in him at the time. You know, kind of like a girl you're spitting at. You know, like you're like, I don't know. You're like,
I'm out the game, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Okay, either way, you know what I mean.
I feel it.
Either way,
I feel it.
So it took a lot. It took a lot of time for me to get used to how he is, and since Piqué's been out, I've seen his leadership. I've seen his presence back there. So for me, that's a big improvement because we're so used to having Piqué most of the time. But honestly, I love that Lenglet has solidified himself as that dominant back there holding. And now we're allowed to put in Araujo, put in Menguesa. We're allowed to do a lot of things because we're comfortable with him back there.
From the very good to the very bad. Disappointment of the season, who do you have?
Coutinho. I think we had really high hopes when we saw him with Bayern. And now that he's back here, I feel like he started a little bit, but then we're kind of going back to how he was before. Even if you look at it, even before his injury, he was still kind of on the decline. I just didn't see any flair or anything like that.
I actually have Coutinho too. I have Coutinho for several reasons, and it was between Coutinho and Griezmann simply because of their names.
That was mine too, bro.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But the reason I choose Coutinho is because for several reasons. When you made a great point with Bayern. When he played with Bayern, he showed, not just in scoring 2 goals against us, but in his season that he had with Bayern, he showed that he still had it if he's put in the right system. So, again, we talked about it before, like during our initial Barca Boyz episodes. We talked about how we weren't using him right, how the coach that we had wasn't using him right. And so I always kind of figured that he was, I always figured that he was going to be a good player if we were able to put the system in for him. And he started off very well in the preseason. He was scoring in preseason games. He looked well coming back. He was in great shape. So I was expecting a lot from him. And there's a difference between chipping in as a midfielder and chipping in as a forward. If you're a forward, if you're Griezmann, you can't score if they don't give you the pass. However, if you're Coutinho, you have a lot more influence in the game. I don't see him taking anybody on. I don't see him taking any risks offensively, and that's literally why we brought him in, so that he could do those type of things. So yeah, granted, injuries have played a big part, and that's unfair for every athlete. However, in the time that he's been there, Pedri literally took the role that we needed by Coutinho. Pedri is doing what we wanted Coutinho to do. And that's just the way that it is. It's very simple.
That's just the way it is.
Things will never be the same. Coutinho will come back and he won't even be a starter in this team. And that's one of the most expensive players in the history of the world. So when you have a price tag like that, bro, you have to respond. And if you can respond with other teams and the rest of the team seems to improve and you're the only one that hasn't,
there's something wrong.
There's a reason there. But moving back to the positives of this season, because there's been positives, but there's also been negatives. Positive of the season. Give me your standout player of the season.
Pedri. I called it.
Explain.
He does it all. And I told this dude too. He gives me glimpses of Iniesta. I just got so much.
When Pedri was growing up, he grew up with posters of Iniesta in his room.
I wouldn't doubt
that. That's pretty cool to me. That's pretty cool.
Doubt that.
So for me, standout player, I have two. I couldn't choose between the two. Actually, I had three, but I really had to narrow it down to two. So Pedri, I had Pedri on my list, obviously for all those reasons. But I think the biggest reason for me, and that everybody keeps talking about it, the best socio for Messi. He's brought Messi happiness back to Camp Nou. The first person that I've seen him do that since Suarez, and before Suarez, a really long time. So Pedri's on my list. However, I have both center backs, Mingueza and Araujo, on that list. Araujo I had to take away. He's third. He's a very close third. I couldn't have three answers to this one question, so I had to kind of narrow him, mostly because he's still made out of glass. He's still made out of glass. So the moment he can be more consistent, dude, if he was healthy, that would be his starting spot.
He's a little shaky at times.
I really like him.
Some of the decision making that he does is very questionable, but he's still young.
He's still young. So I'm a big Araujo guy.
I like him too, though.
Number one, and it has to be Mingueza. He came in, as the emergency center back because all our center backs were either injured or suspect. No, they were all injured. Lenglet was the only other one. So he came in, was never even rumored. Have you heard about him before the season? I hadn't heard about him before the season. He came up out of nowhere. He was the Barca B center back, and he literally just came up because we needed numbers. And ever since then, he stepped up. He's even played right back. At times, Koeman likes to put him in right back a little bit more defensively than Dest. So he's giving us a lot of different plugs and a lot of different ways that we can utilize him. He's been, for the most part, pretty reliable in the back. Obviously, when we have brand new players, they're going to struggle a little bit to kind of get into that rhythm. And it's like that in every level. But he's definitely stepped up. And in a time where we were in a crisis for players, he stepped up. So back to the negatives of the season. Your biggest letdown. I'm going to hit you. Mine is going to surprise you.
Go. I want you to go.
Ter Stegen.
Wow.
Ter Stegen.
Biggest letdown?
Look, letdown because in the last 2 seasons, in my eyes, he had been the best keeper in the world. He saved us out of so many games. Single-handedly. We were a team of Ter Stegen in the back and Messi hopefully scoring hat-tricks in the back. That's the team that we were. Mm. And this season, there's been some goals. There's been some decisions. There's been a few moments where I'm like, Ter Stegen, you couldn't have done a little bit better on that, bro. I know how good you are. With Valdez, there were times where you wish that he was better, but you know that he wasn't. But with Ter Stegen, he's best,
solid.
Arguably best keeper in the world, top 5 for sure, right? In the whole world. There's been time, the Atletico game, he cost us the Atletico game.
I was going to say, yeah.
And it sucks that I have to, one mistake counts for so much, but dude, you're a goalie. And that childish mistake was the only goal in a really close game with a direct rival. Those games are what makes and breaks your title run.
That's what I'm saying.
So for him to be making if he got megged when Diego Costa was shooting, it is what it is. You're a goalie. But if you're making that mistake where you made it
when you come
against Bilbao, Iñaki Williams' first goal, I think he could have done a little bit more.
Near post, wasn't it?
No, that was he was going near post, and then it kind of got under him. So there's a couple of saves here and there where I'm kind of like, all right, dude. And if he really wants to make a case for him to be a captain, I think that this would be his time to like really step it up.
Yeah.
So
especially when we have Messi contemplating leaving or not. I think it becomes a thing where it's like, wow, even Ter Stegen isn't giving me his full 100.
So
like, even what? There's still not that connection's not there right now, you know?
So it's a little cruel, especially with all that he's done, but because of all that he's done and all that he's shown us, the bar is set up high. And I know it's stereotypical, but Germans are, if you set the bar up here for him, they work to get up here, right? So he's disciplined. That's never been the issue, but for that same reason, demand a little bit more. But give me your biggest letdown of the season.
I think for me, probably my biggest letdown has been... That was kind of Coutinho for me, but at the same time, I have Griezmann there too. Griezmann for me, he still has those games where I'm kind of like, is this really all of him? I feel like he feels like he's trapped. I feel like sometimes we get a good side of him, but sometimes we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes he'll surprise us. Sometimes he won't. You know, and I don't want that. I already have that. I already had that in Coutinho. Why would I want that again? It's like that seesaw effect, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mose and I seesaw all the time.
I can't. You know, I can't bash on him fully because he has also been very good for us in certain situations, and he's shown us how he can be utilized with his team. But for me, on it, I just want to see more out of my 10.
Yeah.
Or out of my 9.
I want to see more. I want to see more out of him too, because again, we've talked about this off air too. We've seen his career trajectory. He's been a great player in every team that he's played. He's a great player when he goes out to play for France. How come all of a sudden when he puts the Barcelona jersey on, he struggles to score? And my theory is that he just doesn't get utilized the way that he could with the team. So that's sometimes him not making the right runs. Sometimes it's them not understanding the runs. So I don't know if he's just not delivering or if we're just not helping him deliver. So
it's the Danish system, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's that system that system is fairly strict. If you think about it, except for the position of Messi.
Yeah.
Because you have to make these certain runs to move certain players, and Griezmann's a free-flowing character. Do we have 2 of them?
So that comes with another topic, is can we play Messi and Griezmann together? So if Messi's going to contemplate leaving next year, then we need to fill that void.
But he needs to speak loud to me right the fuck now.
So when Messi's not playing, that has to be Griezmann's game. We're going to finish it off with the last award for the night. Last award, and then we're going to finish it up with a few words after. So, the most underlooked player. Do we have the same one? Because I think you might have the same one I do. And it's a player that has stood out to me all year, and I haven't given him an award. Lex, start us off.
It's got to be my boy Dest.
We got the same fucking one. I do it. Explain. Go for it.
I think for me personally, Dest was majorly underlooked at Ajax. And the fact that we were able to scoop him up.
Bargain
him. And the way he's just slotted the fuck in and hasn't really gotten any praise is baffling to me. That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
There's games where he's just even up in the attack, just all like he's giving me little glimpses of Dani Alves. Mm-hmm. But he's composed, he plays his style of soccer. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really enjoy about him, and watching him is a pleasure. I always learn, a thing or 2 or 10 things about, how his positioning is. So that's my guy.
I love Dest. I think that our right back has been a position that we've been struggling to fill since Dani Alves left. Semedo, it was too big for Semedo. Semedo was never what we wanted him out to be. And selling him and getting Dest was the best bargain that we could have done the whole summer. Him coming in, being very disciplined defensively. I don't think he ever really gets beat 1v1s.
Nope.
But also taking the risk offensively. Still, like, he takes people down the line. He tries to beat them inside the box. His main goal is to try to put it in the box and find someone to put it away. So I like that extra, like, fire in him that he has. He brings that extra spark.
Yep.
He can play on the left-hand side. So I love what he brings to the table. I think when Sergio Roberto comes back, he's going to have to fight for that because
he's not getting that back. I'm sorry.
It's Dest's position at this point.
He's not getting that
and
back.
And it's so relieving to see because we struggled after Dani Alves to fill that same position.
We got lucky, honestly.
So,
we got lucky.
Yeah, shout out to Ajax. Shout out to Wolves for buying Semedo off of that because, bro, good luck with Semedo. Semedo was a heartache.
He's questionable. He's questionable.
So, Serginho Dest, most underlooked player.
I think we got really lucky with him, too, because Coleman was super heavily on the Netherlands system. And I think Ajax has that same system at the time.
Yeah.
So, I think it was just a no-brainer for us.
And he got to come play with Messi. A guy that he probably grew up watching
the same way we did. Yes, any opportunity I can get.
So that concludes the awards, but we're going to finish it off by giving our last little thoughts and ideas for the rest of the year. So
our expectations, sort of.
It's January 11th today, 2021. What if you were to grade this team, if you were to give it a rating for the whole season, what would you give it?
B-.
Explain.
Because I feel like there were certain games where we were average.
For sure.
We were average, if not low-key, on the decline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to be straight up. I was concerned. But there's been games where we're like, okay, we've been average pretty steadily. We've been beating the teams we needed to beat. There's some hiccups, you know? But I feel like now we're sort of on the rise. We're on the C plus B minus range for me in my book.
We're in that territory where you go ask your professor to round up the grade for you the last day of the class.
I'd be like,
is there any assignment that I could do? Like,
any extra
that's where we
credit?
Are. That's where we are. Yeah, for sure.
You know,
I feel the same way. I would probably give it either C plus, B minus, maybe a B, just because when we are good, we play really good.
Yes.
But we've also had games where we looked really bad. Maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. We had a few games where we played really bad, and that's not even counting the Real Madrid and the Atletico game. I'm talking like other games, like the Juventus game. We came out super flat-footed. So we had those games. So it's hard for me to give us a bigger grading that it is right now. Do I think we're going to finish better than where we are right now? For sure, 100%. But I still can't overlook some of the things that we saw. Though it was a transitional period. Coleman was trying out different players. Players weren't adapted yet. All that good stuff. I think overall, a B is fair. Second place is within reach. I think our goal is to finish in second. Madrid is only 3 points ahead, and we got lots of games to come. We still got another Clásico in there too. So I expect us to finish in second place. Will Atletico be able to hold on? I'm not sure. I think Copa del Rey is always achievable because, especially one game elimination, you never really know what happens. So I would think that we're in it.
We're always in it.
Super Cup coming up next week. Hopefully we can win that too. I think we're coming in better than Madrid, so if that's what it comes down to. And it's a Clásico final is a toss-up, so I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Champions League. Are there any expectations?
Honestly, I don't have any expectations for Champions League.
Anything comes.
I feel like at this point, Champions League is going to catch us in whatever rhythm we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever rhythm that is, we're just going to see. We're going to roll the dice and we're going to see how far we can get. But we need to fight. We need to fucking fight.
Yes,
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not trying to beat around the bush. We need to fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see hunger from this youth side a little bit more. And it's going to come from players that have big names. I'm not going to name any names.
Griezmann.
I'm not going to name any names, but we need those big players to step up.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see.
I think it's the first time in a really long time that we're not expected to win Champions League. So even if we come into this tie and let's say PSG beats us, I'm okay with that as long as the team shows a fuck. Well, obviously I'm not, but like if the team shows fucking huevos, dude, I'll be okay with that eventually. I'll be disappointed, but all I'm saying, PSG does not want to see us. PSG does not want to see us. I know last time I said bring on Bayern last time, and that came back to haunt me. But PSG does not want to see us, bro. Okay, PSG is still PSG. They're still PSG. They lost their captain last year.
Yeah.
Okay, they're keep an eye. Keep an eye. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't expect to lose to PSG. If we do, I will honestly be shocked. Like you said, if we go out fighting, I'm okay.
Yes.
If we don't go out fighting and I feel like we could have had a lot more in our tank, I'm going to have some words.
So what do you think it's going to take for Barca to beat PSG in the next episode? So let's hold that thought. We're going to come up with brand new episodes leading up to the Champions League round of 16 game. That about wraps up today's episode, though. Mid-season awards. We gave our version of the Dundies. Hopefully, I know all the Barca players gather around after practice and they all throw on the newest Barca Boyz episode. So I hope they enjoy what they hear. Follow us on all forms of social media. Your boys on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I made a Facebook, bro, for Dincho Sports.
Hey, I liked it.
Follow me, Dincho Sports, on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the channel you see right now. Lex, any pages you want to...
I'm working on IG and I'm working on Twitter.
You know what? Do my man a favor and follow Atlas. Follow Atlas in the meantime.
Please.
Bro, they got scored on the first minute of the season.
Chill.
Of the season.
Did you see those two tweets, bro?
Bro, that's fucking hilarious. Alright, guys. In the meantime, follow us. Make sure you like the video. Thanks for tuning in. Peace, Barca, and we'll see you guys next time.